couple of days ago, I had a chat with a family of five. They're planning on applying for the UK postal work visa because the one of the parents just recently handed off a master's program, and they're looking at getting the postal work visa. And this postal work visa, for those who know, considering the new IHS fee of £1,035 or thereabout, so it's going to cost a family of five about 12 to 14,000 pounds to apply for the postal work visa. And for my conversation with this family, they're actually contemplating on just applying for the postal work visa for the two partners, the husband and the wife, and this is going to make the children stay in the UK illegally. I actually never knew, people could actually think of this. And because of the situation of things, the cost of getting all of this visa, people are actually thinking to the extreme because they can't obviously afford. They just finished paying off their, students tuition fee, and the even the cost that came with studying in the UK. They just finished that debt, and they're still owing a little bit of some money from family and friends, and now they need to apply for the postdoc visa in the next 3 months, which of course they don't have the money, and they're planning to apply for only the father and the mother, and the children are going to be in the UK illegally. And I was like, okay, I never actually thought people could think this extreme, and it's really sad, to be honest. And basically, we had to, have conversation with, a professional immigrant lawyer and immigration lawyer rather, and we got to know about the indefinite leave to remain through private life. And I felt okay, there's a need for me to just share this information with you guys in case you are actually planning to make that decision to make your children stay in the UK illegally because you can't afford to renew their visa. Then you sure do want to watch this video to the end. Or you've probably just recently had a child in the UK and you're thinking, oh, what do you need to do about the child's immigration status? Then you sure do want to watch this video till the end. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, I share everything in UK immigration and life in the UK in general. Please hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. Thanks for being here. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So there's something called indefinite leave to remain private life, and this is really majorly for families. Really, it's not for single individuals. Basically, it's majorly for families, and this cut across people who are currently in the UK and probably on a student visa, or you are on different visa pre-settlement visa categories, which you already know, the skilled worker visa and all of those visa. Now, it's very important for you to know that the moment you have a child in the UK, your child don't become a UK citizen by birth, which is one of the shall I say the bad thing about giving birth here in the United Kingdom. Your child doesn't become a British citizen because they were born in the UK. They have to go through some immigration process before they eventually become citizens, which takes loads of years, even almost a decade, if not more than. So the thing about the indefinite leave to remain private life is, we're going to talk about for children. And basically, if your child is born in the UK, you don't necessarily need to get a visa for the child. That's if you have no plan of taking the child outside the United Kingdom. So for instance, if you're on a student visa or on a skilled worker visa and you have a child in the UK, as I said earlier, the child doesn't become a British citizen automatically. However, the child can actually remain in the UK without you applying for visa. They can go to school. They can do, practically everything every child could do in the UK. But the only problem with this is that such child won't be able to leave the United Kingdom because they can leave the UK, but they won't be allowed back into the UK because they don't have any immigration status at all at that particular moment. They are like, shall I say, they've got no nationality at that particular time. That's if you choose not to apply for the passport. That's your own passport. For instance, for me, like my Nigerian passport, if I choose to apply for the Nigerian passport for the child, then of course the child becomes a Nigerian and they can leave the UK. However, they can't come back because they've got no visa to stay in the UK. So if you're planning on taking the child outside the UK, you need to apply for a visa. But if you have no intention of taking the child outside the UK, then you don't necessarily need to apply for any visa for that child at the moment. Now, if the child was born in the UK and have lived for 7 continuous years since birth, they can apply immediately for indefinite leave to remain on the basis of their private life. So that's the rule. So if your child is born in the UK and you have planned that the child is going to remain in the UK for the next 7 years, the child is going nowhere, then you can apply for indefinite leave to remain after 7 years. Otherwise, you can apply for indefinite leave to remain for that child on the basis of private life if all of the following are true. Number one, remember, if all of the following, so you can't just choose part of it. Now, if they were given the visa on the basis of their private life when they were age 18 to 24, or they arrived in the UK as a child, or they've lived in the UK for 5 continuous years with a visa. So this is majorly for children that were not born in the UK, but they came into the UK as children. So the rule is that they have to be in the UK for 5 continuous years on a visa, and they must have arrived in the UK as a child. So for those of you who have got children who are your dependents, before they can apply for indefinite leave to remain, also just like you, they have to be on a visa for 5 years. So if you are contemplating on applying for the skilled worker visa or applying for the post-study work visa without applying for your children who were not born in the UK, that's going to be a very big mistake. Please and please don't try it. And this is one of the things we spoke to the immigration lawyer about, and he also confirmed the fact that, because I'm not an immigration lawyer, I can only point them to the right direction. Oh, let's speak to someone who has more legal backing in case things go south. You cannot actually go through the legal way to get them sorted. So we spoke to the immigration lawyer, and it was like, oh no, they shouldn't do that. That's going to be a very bad decision, not just for them but for the children. They don't want a situation whereby the children will be taken out of the UK because they have no immigration status, and all of those things basically. So yeah, that's one thing you definitely need to think about. So we have to speak to, and the family or the parents have to reconsider their decision to apply for themselves alone and leave their children out of the application because they feel, oh, the UK is actually a bit soft to children. Please don't. It's going to be a wrong decision. And you can also include times you spent on any other visa which led to indefinite leave to remain. You must have had a visa based on your private life for at least 1 year on the day you apply. So yeah, these are some of the conditions that is attached to children who are in the UK and are looking at getting their indefinite leave to remain. Well, now for adults, you can apply to settle as an adult on private life routes if you are age over 18 and you were given a visa on the basis of a private life in the UK, and you have lived continuously in the UK for 10 years with a visa. Please, it's with a visa. So that's what I tell people. This 10 years continuous living in the UK to get your indefinite leave to remain also applies to us as individuals. And you need to be on any visa category, really. Of course, aside from the visitor visa, you need to be on any visa category, be it student visa, post-study work visa, global talents, high potential individual visa, any visa, pre-settlement visa category. You have to be on all of those visa categories for 10 years before you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain through the 10 years continuous living. So this is really important. So for those who are, and I think this is one of the major challenges people had in the past, people who have been in the UK, getting their ILR was a bit difficult compared to what we have now. We've got like options. You can get the healthcare visa, you can get the post-study work visa, but a few years ago, people actually don't have this many options. So people have to stay on study. You see the wife study for 2 years, the husband take over study for another 2 years, one go for PhD, until they're able to live in the UK continuously for 10 years to apply for their indefinite leave to remain. So if your children do not meet the criteria but were born in the UK, your children may still be able to get the indefinite leave to remain as your dependent if you are applying or have applied for indefinite leave to remain on the basis of your private life, or they were born in the United Kingdom. So for your child now, so depending on who meets the requirements first. So for me now, if I decide to have a child, let's say in 2024 or 2025, and it's going to take that child 7 years to get indefinite leave to remain. However, for me, I'm going to get the indefinite leave to remain before the child gets qualified. So if I get indefinite leave to remain first, then the child can also apply as my dependent on the indefinite leave to remain. So depending on who actually meets the requirement first, then the person can actually apply for the indefinite leave to remain. And one of the following must be true if your child is applying for dependent visa under you as a person who has got the indefinite leave to remain. Your child's other parent is currently applying for indefinite leave to remain. Your child other parent already has indefinite leave to remain. Your child's other parent is a British citizen. Your the child's sole surviving parent, you have sole responsibility for your child, among many other things, as you can see on the screen. So these are the major requirements when it comes to, applying for the indefinite leave to remain through the private route. So yeah, so for you guys that are thinking of applying for visa for yourself alone and leaving your children, please don't try it. You're going to put those children in a tight condition when it comes to them getting their indefinite leave to remain in the United Kingdom, which is of course going to affect your own life too personally. So yeah, those are some of the things I think you guys need to know based on my conversation with this family I spoke to it a couple of days ago. So if you have any questions or any comments about what has been said, please state in the comment section. And if you're coming across this channel for the first time, do hit the subscribe button to join the amazing growing family. And my returning subscribers, thank you guys for being here. I really do appreciate you guys. So this will be the end of this video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.